And the first thing I'm going to do is thank everybody for waiting for so long for 5.3. It was really a big release. We had not only over 130 features that we touched, enhancements and fixes, but we also updated our platform, our development platform, which makes it quicker and more compatible with iOS and Android platforms. And in the end, that took a little longer. But here we are. So this is a 5.3 release, and we'll go into, I'll share my desktop here. Everything from updating to how the application works. Okay? So let me minimize a couple things here. One of the first things I want to go into is the Freeance support. And this is where we are going to download product applications. If everybody is not familiar, it's just support.freeance.com is where we get our upgrades. Go ahead and log in, and we go to our product downloads. So here's our product downloads, the new Freeance Mobile. We need to get 2 files for our server. We need to get the 5.3, and most of you will be grabbing the upgrade. If you've got an older version of Freeance Mobile for Cityworks or mobile, go to your previous versions here and go to the bottom, and you'll see this is for which release here. This is for 5.2.4, so forth. So we want to upgrade the latest one here. We can also just grab this one. So we'll go ahead and save that to our server. You want to see release notes? Well, they're coming soon. How about that? They'll also be on the stores. We also want to go all the way down to the bottom here and grab the Freeance Mobile for Cityworks. We've got 2 files to upgrade on the server, the Freeance Mobile and the Freeance for Cityworks. So we'll grab this downgrade and we'll save it, upgrade I should say, upgrade. And once we do that, we're kind of done with the support site, so we'll go ahead and minimize it. Now, before I go into the 2 files that I downloaded and upgrade my server, I'm going to do something that I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm on my Freeance server here, and I'm going to go into my Freeance startup directory, find it, because I want to do something first. I want to back up my Freeance server settings. I've got a lot of templates, I've got a lot of configuration, map resources, database resources. So go into the Freeance Mobile Startup directory and go into Utilities. And what I want to do is I want to export my Freeance configuration. What this does is it's going to write all your current settings to a file, an export file, that you can re-import later on. This is also very handy for if I'm moving the Freeance server and I want to move it from one server to the other. I have to install Freeance Mobile Server. I don't want to reproduce manually all the configurations I have, so we'll just export this data. It's going to say what file you want to export it to. We'll just hit save. Yeah, I'll replace it. It's just given today's date. So I've got an I got an export file. Now if I wanted to import that, we just go once again back into the Freeance startup and utilities, and I'll use this time the import. And I'll just grab that file, and it's going to update. I'm not going to execute it, but it's going to update my server to all those configurations that I saved. So a great way to back up stuff and also move a server. Just thought we'd show you that little utility there that maybe not everybody knew of. Now, too, if I'm moving from Freeance server from anything other than the latest release, I had a release that's 2 back or 3 back or more, I need to hook up to my database, my Cityworks database, in a different way. And one of the things I need to do is I need to create a native database resource. Well, what this all means is, if I don't have this done already, I'm going to go right back into that Freeance configuration, startup, utilities, and I'm going to configure my PHP resources. Really what this means is I'm going to turn on my SQL Server or my Oracle support. In this case, it's SQL Server. Now, be very careful here and read the top important notification. You need to have your client libraries installed for SQL Server or Oracle before this happens. Otherwise, Freeance configuration will not work correctly. It requires the client libraries. So go ahead and toggle that on. Probably everybody has SQL Server. There's only 3 or 4 people I know that have Oracle. We'll go ahead and hit save. It's done. It's very quick. We'll close it. Okay, so just a little maintenance, housekeeping, and now we're just going to go into the Freeance configuration software. Well, let's go in and upload those first, because I can see in my Freeance, run those executables, those upgrade executables, because I can see in my Freeance another utility here. What version do I have? Yes. I don't have 5.3 on this. Okay? I've got 5.2.24. So, let's go ahead and run those downloads. The first one I want to run is for the Freeance Mobile. It's the larger one. Yes, I want to run it. And I'm using an old laptop, but that's okay. I'll go ahead and do it anyway. It's going to upgrade from 2.24 to 5.3. Now, the first thing it's doing here is we are very diligent and cautious about losing information and being able to recover it. If this upgrade, for some unknown reason, has a problem, we can always delete the Freeance Mobile home directory and grab the one that was previous, because Freeance Mobile install is backing it up right now. It's making a copy. That's what it's taking. So we do this just for disaster recovery reasons. You've always got a backup of the last release in a directory that you can restore. So now it's installing the upgrade, the latest. Okay, shouldn't take too long. It's done. And we have to run the other one also. We've got to run the Cityworks. So those are our 2 executables. We got to run on the server. We'll go ahead and run this one also. Yes, I want to continue. Yes. Aha, we're already talking about the native databases. This is what we brought up. That's why I had to turn on that utility that allowed me to access the client libraries and had to turn that on initially. So this is just giving you a little more notice of that. The reason behind all this is the APIs don't do everything you need to do, and we need to program, so we go direct to the database for some of these things. Storerooms, template custom fields, so forth. Okay, the upgrade's completed. Okay, so now I should be able to go in here and run the Freeance configuration. Go ahead and hit start and run the configuration. And you'll notice now I've got 5.3. So there's my latest upgrade. I'm going to go ahead and go into this other Freeance configuration. It's also a 5.3. And it already has my settings and test data and so forth, so I don't have to start from scratch and drag this out too long. Okay, so what's one of the first things we want to do is, I'll also show this to people. I don't know if people knew about this one. You notice I'm accessing this on a server that's not mine. I'm going across the network. A lot of people will always do remote desktop into the Freeance server just for the configuration. If you just want to hit the browser and you just want to go there directly by just putting in the IP for the Freeance config server, come in here under security and configure your IP address. Okay? I want to add my IP address. I'll just come in here and find my IP address. Oh, for some reason that's not running. But anyway, I'll go in there and find my IP, and the only thing I'll do is I'll add my local IP to this configuration. And now this machine can go ahead and just type in the configuration. I don't have to remote desktop into it anymore. If I've got an IP at home, I can go ahead and do that. I could put in a wildcard. Maybe I've got Verizon or wireless at home, and it's always floating the last three, or the last, I'll just put a wildcard in here because the first three are always the same. So that's how I can test mobile remotely, by putting in IPs. Okay? Let's go in here now into Freeance configuration. We've got the Freeance configuration. I've got a bunch set here already. But, as I said before, we've got a new database connection, and it's right here, the Cityworks database connection. And I need to create a database resource for that so I can connect it to it. So the first thing we want to do is come into database resources up here. And we want to connect to our Cityworks database. And let's show you how that's done. First of all, I'm going to cheat a little. I'm going to grab the existing one because I don't know it off the bat. Actually, let's go back. Let's cancel. I'm pretty sure I've got no, I don't. Let's go Cityworks native. Okay, let's go this one. Okay, so here's my SQL Server database. And it's, I'll just write down, I just go like this. Here we go. So cancel. Let's create a new database. It's a SQL Server 2005, 2008. That's also the same drivers for 2012. Don't worry about it. Server address. I need the database name. I forgot what it was already. Okay. Now, here's something very important. Even if you already have your native database already set up, key. Everybody pay attention. Highlight this. For 5.3, this new release we're installing, you must put in the UTF-8. That's character encoding. That's when we pass commands to the database. They have the right character coding to them. So make sure that you set that to UTF-8. It's not default, it's UTF-8. That's for, we'll call this Cityworks DB53. Okay, that's the key here. That's the key. Of course, we always need to allow because we're reading and writing to that database. I don't know if I've got everything set right here. It may not find it. Hey, I typed it incorrect. All right, thanks. So key here is make sure you put in that UTF-8. Key. If you take anything away today, this is what you need to take away. Okay? We'll have a white paper on this, and this is also recorded. You can come back to it. All right? Make sure we save out of that. Now we come back into our database, into our Cityworks configs. And let's make a new one here. Let's call this 5.3 training. And we'll copy from an existing service. Okay. And there's my Cityworks database that I just made, my native. Okay. Very important. That's the thing to do there. All right? So we've handled that database, that native database connecting and making sure it's set up correctly. Two-step process. Go into database resources and create it. Once I create it, go into Cityworks configurations and apply it. Okay? Now what's the next thing we have in this upgrade is they spent some time because some people were viewing videos and we didn't support all the video formats that everybody wanted to use. And so, I've got as-built, I've got video, sanitary, video inspections, and I want to display those. How do I do that? Well, I want to come in here, and I want to go into work orders, and I want to hot link to where those videos, imageries are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the map feature, and I'm going to come into the hydrant. So when I select the hydrant and I look at the attributes of the hydrant, one of these fields is going to be a browser link. And we'll add it. And it goes all the way to the bottom. I got two there because I made one already. Let me go ahead and delete it. Let me grab something out of it before I do. Okay, cancel. Let's go ahead and delete that. And here's the one I just made. I need to edit it. I'm going to call this inspection video for my sanitary. We need to edit that. And what we're going to do here is we're going to make a dynamic hot link. We're going to come in here and say that my videos are at a standard location. They're at a internal web address. Okay, and I'm going to add that as text. So, and then it's going to call up a object ID, not an object ID, but we're going to come in here and say one of these fields is my video inspection. Name, file name. We'll just call it map ID sheet. And we'll add that. And then the name of the movie is MOV or AVI. And we'll add that. You see I've got a dynamic link. I've got the server, the map sheet ID created with the video extension. And that's going to set up a dynamic link so that every sanitary line will have its own video. So that's how I make a dynamic link. In my case, and this might be your case also, we'll go ahead and delete that. I've got one field that is my movie. Okay, and we'll just go ahead and add that. And that one field could even just be an attribute field. You might have a video field, video link, and it's already in there. You don't have to make a dynamic one. You've got it already. So we'll go ahead and apply that. So there, I just made a dynamic link to a video. That could be a PDF, it could be a video, but we've enhanced the video so we can pull up. You can pull up, if you've got it on a server someplace, you can pull up your videos or your PDF as-built or whatever your Android or iOS will display. So we'll go ahead and save that. Now we also have a bunch of new fields in this release. People ask for more fields to work with. One of the big ones was a lot of people use Freeance Mobile for inspections. And we've got observation or instructions and explanations. These became very redundant for a lot of people. They were blank, they always showed the same thing, and if you had more than a few observations, they really made that form long. I can hide them now. I can turn those off. Don't display them. I don't want to see them. There's nothing there, they're repetitive, the guys don't need them. So now I can hide those observations and instructions and explanations. I've got some other fields here too. Let's see what other fields I've got. A lot of them are in the work order. I've got shop and instructions. So I've got some extra fields in here that you can find on the update that I can turn off. Instructions is one of them. Let me see if I've got my list here. Okay, but probably better off to show these in the configuration. Let's go ahead and turn on. We made that one required. There's the instructions one. So there's one of the new fields. And turn on priority. And Somebody made instructions required. That's good. That'll stand out with that new field. The other one is shop, and there's a couple other fields in there also. But let's go ahead and hit apply and save all our work. And a lot of the new functionality in 5.3 is not in the server. It's actually in the device. So let me bring up an iPad here. Okay, so here's my iPad. And we'll go ahead and go into the new application here. It'll be out on the stores next week for the iPad. The Android should be out today or tomorrow. So here's the first thing I want to do is go into the app, and you can't see my finger. I'll try to use the cursor to show you what I'm hitting. And I'm going to go back to the options page here. Well, let me close this out completely. Let me just start with it fresh. Here we go. So I'm going to hit the options page here and show you one of the things we've created. Is the options page looks a little different because now we have this orientation. I can go into portrait or landscape. So let's go into landscape. Let me bring up my existing, let's load configuration here. Let's bring up my latest, see if it works correctly. And once again, I can pick portrait or landscape now. It does not rotate on its own automatically as I move my device from portrait to landscape. What we found is if I have the map up and it's setting next to me in the seat in the truck, that map will flip from landscape to landscape to portrait and continually start to pan and zoom around and be in a different place. So most people, when they just want it in landscape, will go ahead and hit save, and they're going to work that way. So we don't have automatic flipping because that caused problems for the graphic part of this application. So now we've got a landscape and portrait mode. We'll go ahead and log in. Let me go ahead and make this bigger. I'll see if I can enter full screen. There we go. All right. So now here we are in the new release. I don't know if many people knew this one too. If you want to do support with us or you want your end users to see if they've upgraded, you can always show them and ask them if they're on this release. We show the release right here. Also, if you touch that release, it shows you what the server configuration version is. So I can go back to, there's my device, there's my server, just by clicking on it with my finger. Let's go ahead and log back in. That feature's been there for a little bit. So one of the first things I want to do is come in here and let's go ahead and open up the map. Because I want to show you that video. Let's see if that video's in there. I'm going to turn on my layers. I'm going to go ahead and click on this hydrant, identify it, open it up, and I'll go to the bottom and I've got my video browser link, my inspection video. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And you know what? I don't think I saved my work. Let me jump back here. Let me go back into my existing production one that I know is working. The same one I copied originally. We'll go into the map again. We'll turn on my layers. We'll save it. We'll jump onto that hydrant. And my video is not quite working. Not sure why. Let me just have that up. Just have that being displayed. Not sure why my video link is not acting correctly now. Let me, there we go. I might have to try to reconfigure that. I want to show that. Structure set. Oh, there we go. Excuse me, but I was just working 5 minutes ago when I tried this beforehand. Anyway, I'm going to jump back into that, but let's continue on. I'll try to get that at the end. Let's go into inspections here, and I want to show you that those inspections, those explanations and instructions are not here. Okay, so we can see the observations. We don't have explanations and instructions there. So those are our observations. Our form's not as long, so we hit those. One of the other things we have also that a lot of people requested is, and this is important too, if I'm doing child work orders or inspections, it used to be that we had buttons for child records. We don't. We don't have that anymore. That's gone away. And look under related records now. I want to see view records. Not only can I create a new work order, but more importantly, I can see records related to this service request. I can already see that I've got a work order, child work order on this. So now I can see related records. Let's try one here. Let's create a work order, a new work order, and we'll just hit save. Oh, it's already created one there. Okay, so we'll go into this work order. This is a work order already associated with that inspection. Let's go in and see the associated records with this. There's my inspection that I can get back to. Let's create a child work order off this. We'll just go ahead and hit save. We won't worry about when we got our template right. Okay. Now let's go back to that related record. And there's my asphalt driveway. And now I've got another work order and an inspection off that. So, once again, I don't have child work order anymore or inspection. I've got this related records. Hit the add view. I can see existing records that were created and are related to this record, and I can also go up and create new ones. Okay, so a great way to start to navigate around and what came before this? What inspection did this work order create? Or what child work order was created off this work order? Okay, so the important part to remember here is I don't have child work orders anymore. They went away. Hit related work orders with that view add. Okay, so the other thing we have here is thing that probably the biggest part of this release for a lot of people is labor, equipment, materials, crew. Okay, so there I've got labor, equipment, materials, and I don't have the detail button anymore for I want to add individual labor, equipment, materials. I have this view add button, kind of like related records, so that's new. The details have gone away. There's a different way to add costs. Hit that view add, and lo and behold, I can bring up my crew. So my crews will be shown there. Either I want to do stuff individually or grab my crew. And there's my existing labor. I've got no material, no equipment. Let's go ahead and, how do I add labor or materials or equipment? Once again, it's in a different place. Let's go up here and hit add. And I want to add equipment. And there's the equipment right for my crew. So I just added crew equipment. It's the same way for labor. Let's add our labor for our crew. There's labor. Put in 2 hours. And we'll notice that that just added 2 hours. We got a big crew there. Now, if somebody's substituting today, they're not there, Brian's not there, just go out and delete that. And maybe I need to add another person here, Mark, because Mark's taking Brian's place. There you go. I just saved a bunch of more labor there for that crew. So that's how crew's handled now. Labor, equipment, materials, elements handled differently. I've got that view add. I don't have the detail button anymore. I've got the view add. First thing I need to do is set, do I got individuals or crew? If I got individuals, it's kind of the old way. I want to add labor. I got to go pick my individuals. That's the old school way. Individuals. But if I got a crew, I just pick my crew. So that's the new crew that we have in 5.3. There's some other things here too we wanted to show you. We talked about. Let's go into update. One of the things is new is this resolution field. We added that. So let me go ahead and update. I'm going to go down and update this. And there's our resolution field. We also have that new instruction field. We also have a shop field now. So a couple new fields in there. There's our instructions field. Resolution field. So that is, that's the update, or that's the training we want to go through. Said a lot of the stuff is on the device side. Let's go back in here and see if we can figure out what's up with the last thing we'll do, and then we'll take Q&A. One thing I want to do is see if I can get that video going. make sure I'm on the right server here. All of the good thing to do. Let's go back. On my device. Options. Yeah, okay, this is the server I'm on. See, one more time we can take a stab at getting that video up. Let's log in. Let's go to our Freeance configuration. Let's go to the production. Let's go into the map. Let's go into the hydrant. Let's go into the selection result, and let's go to the bottom where we have that browser link, and we'll edit that browser link, and it's there already. Okay, so that is it. It's already there. The link to video. We'll make sure this is. Okay, we'll hit apply. All right, apply. Let's go back into our app and let's try this one more time. We're in the Cityworks production. We'll hit load config and Cityworks production. Save it. PW. And we'll log in with that. We'll go into the map. We'll go into our water. We'll hit save. Bring up that hydrant again. We'll give this one more shot. There we go. There we go. So now we're playing a video. And obviously this isn't a sanitary inspection video. It's just a video I grabbed. But we're just playing this in the device. So when I'm done with that, I can just up on the top hit done. And we'll bomb out of that and go back to Freeance Mobile. So that's a way to display videos or imagery, PDFs, whatever we want to hit there. That's not stored on the device, that's coming from my server. All right? So glad it all worked there. So I think I'll go ahead and open up the mics, which I think they already are. See if anybody has any questions or comments here. Let me unmute everybody. Okay. Now, this has been recorded. We'll go ahead and send this out. We'll also have a little technical white paper on what you have to do to upgrade, kind of what we went over here. You know, one of the things we were thinking of doing also, if there's no other questions or comments, is if you do have any enhancements, please send them to us. Don't do without. Make sure you're like everybody else and you call us up or email in say you'd like new features, enhancements. One of the things we were thinking about doing on another educational training video next is, don't know if people knew this, but we do have AVL, and you have AVL with Freeance Mobile. You have the ability to track your Androids and iPhones in Freeance Mobile. Right with this functionality right here, this GPS collector and GPS database, you can set up Freeance Mobile to collect breadcrumbs, live GPS data, to your ArcGIS. And you can view that on a Flex Viewer, ArcMap, whatever, but you can actually, with Freeance Mobile, set up AVL tracking for these devices and let people collect data. They can turn it off and on. So we're thinking about doing a training session with this, how to set up AVL data collection with Freeance Mobile. That's kind of
in the Cityworks configuration, is there a 2014 in the dropdown?
There is. I don't have the latest release, but that 2013, actually the APIs have not really changed since 2013 to 2014.
Cool.
But there will be in the one we ship out to the stores, or the one we put on the support. Actually, all the new APIs that came out in 2014 were for PLL, which we're programming hot and heavy right now. There was really no new APIs for work orders. It was all PLL.
Yeah, I wasn't going to ask you when the PLL side's coming.
That's, we're probably about 45 days away from showing people stuff.
Nice.
Any other questions or comments? As I said, it'll be on the Android store tomorrow. The iOS is always a week away. And Debbie will probably send out notices when it is on the iOS store. It is backwards compatible. If somebody downloads 5.3 on their device, it'll still work with your 5.24 server. So nobody's going to crash and burn there. I appreciate everybody attending, and we'll send out the recording. It usually takes about 24 hours for WebEx to publish it. If there's nothing else, have a great day, and thanks for using our software.
Thanks, Jeff.